Sorry to
Good morning, this is
Good morning.
Mr. Alfonso Ward.
This scene was set in motion more than 100 years ago. It started with her grandfather, Harris Barrett, a banker in Virginia who agreed to finance an elementary school for African American children in rural Alabama. He delivered, they reciprocated by naming the school in his honor. The Harris Barrett School was a vision of Booker T. Washington, who engaged Tuskegee Institute students to build the schoolhouse. That was in 1903. Fast forward to 2017, and a screening of the documentary Rosenwald brings Phil Rome to Tuskegee. He is the great-grandson of Julius Rosenwald, a wealthy Jewish businessman who funded thousands of schools for African American children, and once again, Booker T. Washington was involved.
He came to my Julius's house and stayed overnight, and they got together and talked about how we can build schools in the South for African American children. And so he put up the money and a lot of the expertise, like the architecture, and so this school was really I think it was before the Rosenwald School program started, but it was a model for building the future schools, and it might have been the thing that inspired the Rosenwald School Fund to get going.
Somebody thought it would be a good idea for Janice Fountain and Phil Rome to meet, and things happened quickly.
Oh, you're the granddaughter. Okay.
It's an overwhelming feeling to know to meet the descendants of Rosenwald also, and know the common bond that we have.
The Harris Barrett School is now a museum. Built for the descendants of slaves, there are lingering residuals in here, but you'll also find tributes to aerospace engineering involving African Americans. Prompting supporters to declare the school's history is from the slave ships to the spaceships. Alfonso Moore, a former student, shared the collection with the special guests.
Yes, okay.
The Harris Barrett School was eye-opening for Phil Rome today, and it had a similar effect on his great-grandfather, Julius Rosenwald.
He saw this and saw what was possible. And then, he ended up building 5,300 schools all through the South, and partly up into the North.
And there were other African Americans outside the education realm that benefited as well from Rosenwald's generosity.
He also started an artistic fund that funded a lot of artists, like Langston Hughes and Marian Anderson.
James Baldwin.
Yeah, James Baldwin. So he would, if they were young, bright, artistic people, he would give them some money to help them not have to worry about their housing and making a living, so they could develop their art. And then a lot of them went on to be very famous, artists and authors and playwrights.
Why do you think he did that?
A lot of it was because of his relationship with Booker T, who really inspired him to the plight of the African American, especially in the South, and the need to help them, give them a leg up to get them started in America. And also, being Jewish, we have suffered for over 1,000 years with bigotry and racism around the world. We fled many countries because of
Holocaust.
Yeah, and before the Holocaust, there were what they call pogroms, which were, they would expel the Jewish people from an area that had been there sometimes hundreds of years. And because we were different and we acted different and we dressed different, and they would want us out of there. And at some point, the people would get together, and you know how people, they like to have somebody to hate. And it helps to bring people together if you can hate somebody. And bad people use that to get support and rally the people together. So
It feels really good to see all this, like hearing about it growing up, and now to like be here, kind of seeing it in real life and hearing more about, learning more as I go through this that I didn't know. A lot of this I didn't know.
I'm learning a lot, you know, every day. As you know, the more I talk about Harris Barrett, the more these things are exposed to us, to meet them. I just continue to learn more.
Janice Fountain lives in Notasulga. She and her husband are both on the board that governs the Harris Barrett Museum. Phil Rome has followed in his great-grandfather's philanthropic footsteps.
I give to people that are fighting in the criminal justice system, and then also in education, try to help bring students of color that are from low income and try to get them into college and help them through college.
Their ancestors did something great, and now fate has brought them together in this humble schoolhouse where their legacies are intertwined.